Welcome to the Everything Podcast. I am your host, and in today's episode, we are going to be covering Marsupilami 2026 live action. So basically what we'll do, as per usual, is we'll give you some interesting info regarding the cast, the premise, and everything of the movie as such. We'll watch the trailer together, and then I will give you my thoughts. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So, Marsupilami is a French comedy directed by Philippe Lachaud and scheduled for release in 2026. The film is an adaptation of the Marsupilami created by André Franquin in 1952 for Spirou et Fantasio and later into his own series. It is also a sequel to the 2012 film On the Trail of the Marsupilami. To save his so this is the basic premise of it. To save his job, David agrees to a harebrained scheme, bringing back a mysterious package from South America. He finds himself aboard a cruise on the CFC, so cruise ship, the Renaissance, with his ex-girlfriend Tess, his son Leo, and his colleague Stefan, as dim-witted as he is clumsy, I beg your pardon, whom David is using to transport the package into his place. Everything goes wrong with Stephanie, I'm not sure, accidentally opens it, a baby Marsupilami appears, and the trip descends into chaos. So, a lot of this stuff is sort of French orientated, and I'm not French, just saying. As far as the cast is concerned, we have Philippe Lachaud, and he is actually going to be playing David. He's done some stuff, but I don't know if anyone's really going to know who or what this is as far as, the audience mostly watching this. But Babysitting, he's been in Nicky Larson and the Cupids, that kind of stuff. Then we have Jamel Debbouze playing Pablito Cameron, and he's got a lot of French shows that he's been in, and I'm not actually going to try to say any of these. Oh, I could say this, Mokato. So there's a reason why I'm actually talking about this today. I know we're not French, I'm not French, maybe we have some French listeners out there, but there is a reason I'm actually bringing this up. And so then we have Tarek Boudali as Ricky. Tarek has actually been in, let's see if there's something I can read. Babysitting 2. So it looks like one or two people from that movie. Then we have Elodie Fontaine, and she is actually going to be playing Tess. And she's actually been in, let's have a Babysitting. So it looks like a lot of people from that movie. Thank goodness. Something I can read. Because there's, Kies? Yeah, I'm not even going to try that. Then we have Julian Arruti, and he is actually going to be playing, there we go, that must be Stefan then, because it's Julian, so I can't imagine that it's pronounced Stephanie. So apologize for that. But yeah, Stefane, something like that. He's been in, let's have a look, a Babysitting. It looks like a lot of them come from this movie. Maybe they all banded together and like, you know what we should do? Let's make Marsupilami. And last but not least, but this person's actually quite famous, is Jean Reno. He's the adventurer, David's boss. So he's been in a lot of stuff that's, it's quite worldwide and widespread. So let's have a look here. So that would be The Jaguar, Crimson Rivers, The Big Blue, Nikita. That would be a big movie. Ronin was good. So as far as my suggestions for today, I would say Ronin for sure. Godzilla, the 1998 one, that was cool. And then the very first Mission Impossible. So Da Vinci Code, if that's your thing, that's something like that's not for everybody. Pink Panther's okay. Yeah, but he's been in a lot of good movies. I can't believe he's 77 years old. He actually looks really good for his age. So yeah, 77. Holy smokes. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, that is the cast for this, the general premise and so on. But what I want to show you before we get into the official trailer for this is I used to watch a show on like the Kids Network. It's not called the Kids, like I'm just saying a Kids Network when I was younger, called KTV, which is Kids Television, where I'm from. And there was a show called Marsupilami. It's obviously the exact same character. But before we get into the proper trailer, I actually just want to show you this. It's the shortened version of the intro to this cartoon that I used to watch. And I was actually quite excited when I saw this. But let me just show you this first. So here is not the trailer, but just the intro of the cartoon in the sort of mid-90s, whatever the case is. So let's have a look at that.
Marsupilami coming running to the jungle gander. Here to we have a swinging time singing. Ooba! Marsupilami.
So as you can see, he's quite a mischievous little creature, always up to something and being naughty and so on. And it looks like they're kind of doing that in the trailer as well. But let me not give that away. So let's have a look at the trailer for the live action Marsupilami 2026.
Tu vas partir en Amérique du Sud pour faire une croisière.
Y a un piège?
Et me ramener un colis en France. Il y a moins de contrôle en bateau qu'en avion.
Il y avait un piège.
Il y a 3 règles. Règle numéro 1. Ne jamais ouvrir le colis.
C'est quoi ça? Le Marsupilami.
Règle numéro 2. En prendre le plus grand soin. Règle numéro 3. Être le plus discret possible.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Et tu y vas avec ta femme et ton fils. Vous passerez plus incognito.
Le premier qui rigole, il se prend une tapette. Non, mais t'es malade ou quoi?
Le Marsupilami est extrêmement convoité.
On est à la recherche d'un animal. Jaune, attache noire.
Si quelqu'un a des infos sur cet animal, qu'il lève la main.
Oh! C'est pas moi!
Aidez-moi, c'est coincé!
And that was the trailer for Marsupilami 2026. So as you can see, it's definitely going to be that quirky for family type of comedy. That was a lot funnier than I was anticipating that it was going to be. There's some really cool pieces, but it's definitely that, I don't even know, like quirky comedy is the best way that I can explain this. Because it's that typical, like where the guy flies in the air with his bicycle and then he sees his seat in front of him, or when the guy doesn't see the window, and he's punching through the window. He's like a cool like hero. He's helping everyone out of this car that looks like it was potentially on fire, and he doesn't see that there's not a window, as you saw, or if you're listening, obviously I'm explaining it to you, but he just punches the dude through an open window because he doesn't see that there's not a window there. That's great. So yeah, that looks funny. Looks like it could. This could be something out of France, like totally out of left field. It's maybe something that you guys had never even heard of before, never seen before, like the cartoon that the little snippet of the cartoon that I showed you for the intro. That's actually something that Disney did back in the day. This has nothing to do with Disney. yeah, like the production house or anything is from I think that's Path or Pathé. I'm not really sure how you say that. The budget for this wasn't even crazy. It was 28.68 million euros. So call it 30 million euros. It's a lot of money, obviously, but as far as movie budgets go, you've seen some of the movie budgets for some of the stuff in the States and whatnot. So that's been, $250 million, whatever the case is. So this is a reasonable budget. I would imagine that these actors are quite popular in France and whatever. So I hope that this film does well, because I enjoyed the cartoon when it came out. This trailer had me laughing. I actually had to compose myself after the trailer was finished. There's one or two parts of that sort of, I think, like dry, quirky humor. I think that's the best way to describe this. It's like a dry, quirky humor. The way the Marsupilami, I have to mention this, when it comes out of the little basket, I'm sure it gives you gremlin vibes. The ears, the eyes, that little cute gremlin, whatever. Not the same colors, obviously, but very much a similar aesthetic. And you can see it's kind of similar to the cartoon as well, like the way they've put it together. It's kind of cute, So, this looks cool. It's definitely something I would give a watch if I can get my hands on it in some shape or form. So that'd be cool. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of today's trailer and episode. Pop that in the comments below, as well as showing us some love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. But that is it for today's episode of the Everything Podcast, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.